This edition of MacVoices is brought to you by SupportYourApp. Developers, get outstanding outsourced customer support for your app. Find out how they can take care of your customers while you grow your business at SupportYourApp.com. Hi, I'm Chuck Joyner. MacVoices is in San Jose for WWDC and AltConf. I get a chance to talk to Ortwin of FutureTap again about his apps and about his keynote impressions. Ortwin, it's good to see you.
Great to see you, Chuck.
Okay, so let's start with the keynote, because that's obviously what we're all here for, to hear the Apple announcements. What meant the most to you as a developer of the app, the kind of apps that you develop?
So obviously, the first thing they mentioned was the improved performance in iOS 12, and that's obviously something we always love. And this is great to see. And I think they kind of had a little bit less to say than in recent years or so. iOS 12 is not as packed with new features probably as the recent releases, but I don't think that's necessarily bad. As I said, performance is something everybody kind of sees and uses and profits from every day, right? This is really kind of important probably to anyone. And also that they kept the same device requirements. That's, I think, a good thing. So everyone with the 5S can still run iOS 12. That's great, I think. So and of course they did some interesting new stuff like the notifications. I think that's welcome and kind of was about time, I guess, that they improved this. And I'm also interested in this AR kit, in the AR kit improvements, so that looks also quite nice.
Yeah, there's so many things that I'm anxious to hear more about, because it felt like they had to, almost by necessity with the volume of stuff, give us just little tastes of, okay, this is a highlight of dark mode, and this is a highlight of this and that. Okay, I have about 10 questions on each, and it'll just take time.
Yeah, so dark mode, for instance, is something I'm not as excited about. I don't know. Probably this is kind of a very opinionated feature. One part of the developers, they completely are excited and love it or so. I was never into dark mode, so
yeah, I was
not really using it. But
I was surprised. We heard the keynote at AltConf here, and a big cheer went up on dark mode, and I thought, wow, really? Okay, it definitely looks good, and things pop off of it. But it didn't seem like that big a deal, but the developers seemed to love it.
Yeah, they're really, I don't know why, but a lot of developers love their dark screens, and maybe, I don't know, that's kind of a nerdy thing or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they like to work late at night. I don't know.
I mean, they mocked us for being nerds, right?
Exactly. So tell me what's going on with FutureTap and the apps you develop. It's been a little while since we've talked about your apps.
Yeah, absolutely. So Where To is still going strong. It's our points of interest finder app for iOS, and it's doing well and will be updated quite soon with a major update that's coming. But just recently we launched an update for our Streets app, street viewing app for iPad and iPhone and Apple Watch, and that's quite nice. So we just recently introduced Streets 4, adding drag and drop for iPad, which is quite nice, and you also have a live mode where you can basically view the street view panorama as you turn the device. So it's really natural in traveling virtually abroad. It's quite nice, and we already had since quite some time quite a huge database of gallery items where you can travel all around the world and visit interesting places like the Eiffel Tower or national parks, or even go underwater and see underwater panoramas, turtles swimming and everything. So for that it's quite nice. So you can really travel abroad just from your iPad.
I mean, that borders on some of the AR stuff we saw in the keynote. But that idea that I have this virtual window into someplace I want to go or am going, and want to get familiar with it, is just phenomenal.
Yeah, that's the whole purpose of the app, and it makes it very easy because it's fully focused on Street View. Of course, you can do Street View also in the Google Maps app or other apps, no question, but they are not really focused on Street View. So in streets you have always the coverage, the blue and yellow dots and lines where you can see where there are panoramas. It works on iPad, it even works on the Apple Watch. You can even watch Street View panoramas on the watch. It's of course more like a gimmick or so, but still it's quite nice, and so I think that pays off to have just a little focus really on that one specific task, namely Street View.
Yeah, but one man's gimmick is another man's essential tool, and so sure, would I like it on my big giant 12-inch iPad? Yes, great. It's better there. It's good on the phone. It may not be as good on the watch, but it serves a purpose.
Exactly. And there are nice features like with drag and drop, for instance. You can even drag a photo of yours that is geotagged and see what 360 panoramas are around there. So when you you took a photo there and you're not quite satisfied with the quality, how it turned out or so, just drag it in streets and see what perhaps someone else has already taken a 360-degree panorama and look around it, and even put it on the Apple TV on the big screen and have have your presentation about whatever some place you've been to, added a little bit with a great all-around panorama view.
Well, and at the risk of, I'm not sure this would work, but if I'm a photographer and I'm going somewhere, maybe this gives me a chance to plan my shots.
Absolutely. I mean, it's actually used among these professionals quite a lot. We have quite a lot of real estate agents. Actually, they love to show the surroundings, the neighborhood of their places, and of course also for research. Is this whatever? For valuation of houses or so, it's quite an invaluable tool actually for many professionals.
I wouldn't have thought of that, but no longer do I have to worry about, they took this beautiful shot of this one thing, but over there is a garbage dump behind it,
exactly.
In the other direction. So that would be a fantastic tool.
Yeah. So this is quite interesting when you talk to users, that they kind of use it for purposes you never imagined, and this is kind of awesome, right? When you see, okay, this is quite a great use case, or even for all people who visit their customers at home, they can plan their travel and see what neighborhood is this or so, and see Very
cool. Great. See, that's it. You think you developed one kind of app, you've really developed another one. It just depends on what people are going to do with it.
Exactly, yeah, and it works on all these devices. You can favorite the panoramas. You took on you favorite it on the iPad, and then you have your phone with you, and you have the same favorites. You can even organize it in folders, rename them, so you can really manage a set of panoramas to work with somehow. So.
Very nice, very nice. I got to go check it out again because now I suddenly see a whole new set of uses for it.
Awesome, yeah.
The website where folks can go to learn more about your products.
Yeah, it's FutureTap.com, FutureTap.com, and there you can see all the information about streets and of course about where to as well.
Ortwin, it's good to see you. Thanks so much for the time.
Thanks for your time.
Folks, we'll have more from AltConf and WWDC in San Jose. I'm Chuck Joyner. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our MacVoices Facebook group and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices magazine, free on Flipboard. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us at patreon.com/MacVoices and join these folks who help keep MacVoices coming to you. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.